Hello. So I'm about to go do a thing. One of the things that I do kind of regularly. Um, and I figured this time I should probably say why. Because I don't ever say why, but it's pretty important that you say why sometimes, right? Um, so we're gonna go do a thing for Jackie. Um, because it's important that we don't forget. Everybody is saying her name, saying his name, and nobody's been saying her name for a long time. So, but I do it as often as I can, and not for clout or recognition or any kind of weirdness like that, but because it's absolutely near and dear to my heart. Her whole situation. She was a tribal member, just like my family, my children. I understand what marginalized populations go through in the first place, so she already had like a bad rap going on for her, and she was also homeless and pregnant and dealing with a domestic violence situation at the time, right? So, and I don't care what the tribe says or any of the tribes say. They can do like lip service all day about how they feel about domestic violence and stuff, but they still take the white supremacy patriarchy attitude when it comes to domestic violence. Like, you should have ran it the first time, blah blah blah, whatever, and you made your bed, now lie in it, right? So, it's unfortunately, her story is pretty indicative of just the way shit works for all of us, really. But it illustrates a lot of the things that I personally have been trying to push for or to bring awareness to for a long time. Homelessness, domestic violence, being a second-class citizen and what happens when you are. And police brutality, I mean, the whole nine. It's like, it's almost uncanny, how... Because I've been saying her name, I guess, for lack of better words, for quite a few years now, since it happened. Because when it happened, it hit me right in the heart, we had a lot of stuff going on in our lives at the time, and it just really hit close to home. Like, there was no way for it to hit any closer to home, than it was for them to shoot her while they were looking for him, saying, oh, she had her tires aimed at us. Like, jump out the way, fool. Like, seriously? But no, they had to shoot her, from the front, from the side, from the back, and then put her body in a police car, hanging halfway out the fucking police car, and then paraded her around the fucking neighborhood, okay? Like, this shit gets to me, man, because, like, how absolutely inhumane and disrespectful could you possibly be to one person, much less a mother, and a woman, like, all because they were looking for her fuckboy boyfriend, who her family wouldn't help her with, because, we don't get involved in personal business, right? Sorry, man, I'm not laughing about it, but you gotta laugh and smile, or else what do you do? Because this shit's pretty fucking scary, and it's horrendous, and it's inhumane, and what do you do? I mean, so I do a thing for her every so often. No one knows about it. I mean, unless they see it on the road or whatever. I was posting about it a little bit on my Twitter feed. Well, quite a bit, actually, for like the last 3 years on the last 4 Twitter accounts I had before they all got nuked. I would talk about her situation, and I would call out the chief of police and the sheriff and all that as often as possible. But anyway, those are all nuked, and that doesn't matter. But the point is I do this because it is to honor not just her, it is to honor her because everybody's forgotten her name, you know, over so many other names. And I get it, you know, there's so many. I mean, how do you keep track of everyone, you know? But I do it every so often to keep her name in people's mouths, you know, to keep her name in people's hearts, to keep the spirit alive, you know, the spirit, you know, remembering what happened, you know, and bring awareness how it could happen to any one of us, you know, and not just the murdering and the, you know, the disrespect part, but the homelessness, the domestic violence, the family that turns their back on you because you're not good enough, you know, the whole nine, you know. It could happen to any one of us, and it happens to all of us. Like, it happens to a lot of us all the time. And, you know, just fucking wait. If you're not perfect, it's gonna happen to you too. I mean, you know, say what you want. Oh, it ain't never gonna happen to me. Okay, cool. Good for you. Happens to a lot of us. You know, I've been definitely on the road for a long time, so her whole situation hits near and dear to my heart. So we're gonna go do another thing for Jackie today. I've been collecting garbage bags, plastic garbage bags, and I know it sounds bad, but it's kind of perfect, because I usually use like white sheets all cut up and stuff and other stuff, but the plastic grocery bags, you know, they're very symbolic of homelessness and the struggle, you know, and I've been saving them for a good solid year, and I have enough to do what I need to do this time, so we're gonna do that today. Because we can, because we have gas in the tank, you know, we have 2 hands and 2 feet, and a willingness to do so, you know, and maybe if I remember her name, she will remember your name, you know, and he will remember her name, and we won't forget our history, you know, because what's that shit, when you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it or some shit, right? You know, and not mostly, but a large part of it is I really hope that officer, and I don't recall his name at the moment, which is fine, because fuck him and his name, I hope that he sees it, you know, on the way to work when he goes to show up to TPD, you know, I hope he sees her name. Every time I do it, I hope he sees her name. I hope Ed Troyer sees her name, you know, I hope the judges that fucked her see her name. You know, I wish that they'd see all our names, but, you know, there's only so many white sheets and only so many garbage bags we have, you know, so, and I only got 2 hands. Anyway, it's awkward, it's weird, and it's uncomfortable, but that's what we're doing today. So, we'll be back for more.